So when it comes to video games, a good mystery is a sumptuous affair indeed. If titles can string you along hoping to uncover the whats, whys and hows, then they can eke out that extra playtime until they dole out that knowledge, and you will end up loving every second of it. But what about all those games that dangle a meaty mystery only to skip the bill when it comes to explanations? Well, that's what we're here to talk about today. And as is custom for these lists, one of these entries has been chosen by you, and this week we have Kool-Aid33 to thank for their submission, which will drop later on in this video. And if you want to be part of next week's video, then have a think about what you would choose as a video game you must play before you die. And speaking of dying, I know that you're going to kill me if I stretch out this intro any longer, so let's have a chat. As I'm Jules, this is FGS, and these are the 10 biggest unsolved video game mysteries. Oh, and by the way, this week's list is sponsored by the Future Game Show. Confused? Well, don't worry, as I'll explain that mystery a little later. Number 10, The Mysterious Stranger, Fallout franchise. Now, you don't get much more mysterious a mystery than when somebody has that very word as part of their name. Enter, from angles unknown, the mysterious stranger from the Fallout series, who, depending on whether you pick perks to call in for his mysterious aid, will appear from time to dole out some sweet, good old-fashioned wasteland justice. And by that I mean shoot people, very rightly, in the face. It is a delight each and every time that famous music sting hits, and it's an even greater one to see heads pop like overripe watermelons thanks to the stranger's pinpoint accuracy. But the question remains, well, technically many questions remain, and they fall under the what, why, who and how categories. Who exactly is the mysterious stranger? How do they always seem to find us yet disappear the moment we've come out of vats? Why are there different versions of the strangers? And can we trust that one fella in New Vegas who claims to be their son? It's likely that we'll never know, but as long as that jingle keeps playing, well, I can learn to live with it.
Was just here. You saw him, right?
Number 9, Resident Evil 4's Mysterious Merchant. Okay, kids, all together now. Welcome to the mystery that is the merchant from Resident Evil 4. Now, you'd normally not think that a humble shopkeep would draw much attention in a video game, but the fact that this guy appears everywhere, seemingly slips past some truly horrible enemies, and has access to items that are incredibly hard to come by, and is so relentlessly quotable that of course gamers would want to know more about this mysterious merchant.
Struck. I don't believe it. You went and did them all. I guess everyone needs a hobby.
How does he move through the game unseen? How does he avoid getting munched on by the local inhabitants? And how is he not sweating bullets all the time lugging around all that loot? Well, Capcom is very tight-lipped on the subject, despite everyone else in the room shouting out theories left, right and centre. In fact, I posed a thought about this mysterious merchant over on What Culture a while back, musing that maybe the flames around the merchant in the remake have some sort of connection to how he can go about pilfering unharmed. You see, the flames around him look awfully similar to the ones that Ashley can use to freeze Las Plagas infected enemies in their tracks. Maybe then these flames act as a ward to keep the merchant safe from those greasy ganados, and explains how he can move from place to place without catching a different type of heat. However, as much as we might think we've pinned down the whats and the whys, we'll never truly know all there is to know about this all-time banterous source of bartering. And speaking of selling, it's time for me to become Jules' shill as I throw to me in a much nicer studio than I'm used to. Take it away, handsome Jules.
Hello everyone, my name is Jules and this is Nathan. We are both the co-hosts for the brand new expansion pack for the Future Game Show, which is going live
March 21st at 8 PM GMT.
You're damn right it is, my friend. There's going to be a ton of world premieres. There's going to be brand new chats with developers about their games and a deeper dive than ever before about trailers that are going to be in the main showcase. When is it airing?
March 21st, 8 PM GMT.
Just one more time for the record.
March 21st, 8 PM GMT.
Fantastic stuff.
March 21st,
Oh, okay.
8 PM
We'll see you
GMT. March 21st, 8 PM GMT. March 21st, 8 PM GMT.
Number 8. Who or what is the G-Man? Now, I don't really think you can talk about a list of video game mysteries and not include the all-time GOAT, but here the G stands for G-Man and the OAT stands for Yes, I'm Vegan and just remember that I want another coffee. The G-Man from Half-Life series is truly one of the biggest mysteries in gaming, and there is so little known about his character, his motives, his origins, and to be honest, what the point of any of his actions are at all in these games. And things aren't helped by the fact that Valve themselves don't seem to have a concrete roadmap for the character either, as highlighted in the 25-year anniversary documentary that was made on the franchise. I mean, just let that sink in. The creators of the character don't know anything about him. How are we ever meant to do anything more than speculate if that's the case? Unfortunately, because he's also, and let me check my notes here, one of the most compelling characters in gaming as well, we can't help but drill down on the scant notes that we have, thus leading some gamers into a rabbit hole where there are simply more questions than there are answers.
The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world. So wake up, Mr. Freeman. Wake up and smell the ashes.
Number 7. What's in the box? Trials Evolution. Now, technically, the following entry is a video game mystery that will at some point be solved. Yet, seeing as this won't happen until the year 2113, I think you'll forgive me for putting it on this list. Confused? Well, so too is the Trials Evolution community, as they have been part of one of the most elaborate video game treasure hunts ever, which up until this point has included finding and decoding hidden messages, traveling to real-world locations to find secret packages, and communicating all of this with other fanatics to build up towards a final puzzle that revolves around 5 keys and the Eiffel Tower. Apparently, at midday in the year 2113, right underneath the Eiffel Tower, one of those 5 keys will open a box. Now, what's inside the box is anyone's guess, as will the state of the world be by that point in time. It is a mystery that goes so far beyond that it's literally a multi-generational one, and in order to actually see this come to fruition, these keys will need to be kept safe, their owners well informed, and for the legend of the Trials Evolution box to be kept alive. There are so many factors that could go wrong here, and yet the dedication of these community members may actually see this mystery laid to rest in the future. Number 6. The Chiliad Mystery, GTA V. Now, I just know that if I went into this list and didn't wax lyrical about the Chiliad mystery from GTA V, then the comments section would chew me harder than Chewbacca with some chewing gum. But thankfully enough, Kool-Aid33 is on hand to remind me of one of the deepest Rockstar mysteries ever. Well, second biggest alongside another cheeky little fella that we're going to talk about in a bit. But it's also up there alongside the mystery of why Rockstar doesn't make another table tennis game. Seriously, that title was godly. Anyway, back on track and let's talk aliens, my friends. Because that's what the Chiliad mystery seems to suggest, thanks to numerous scrawlings of aliens, jetpacks, and the titular mountain that can be found throughout the game. And as Kool-Aid points out, this is a mystery that is still unfolding right in front of our eyes, with new events adding in extra details, twists, and turns. And in some cases, Rockstar just appears to offer pieces to the puzzle, only for the community to say, wait a minute, that's not a puzzle piece, my friend, that is a Billy Bear ham slice. How does that fit in? To which the devs laugh and respond with, I know, right? It seems that until the devs finally decide to bear all, that we will just be wondering how everything fits together and whether this will lead to greater things in GTA 6. Number 5. The Ghost Girl, Pokemon X and Y. Okay friends, it's time to get scarier than that time that your nan forgot to wear a nightgown to bed and started sleepwalking, as we're going to be talking about spooky ghosts in Pokemon games. And I don't mean the actual ghost Pokemon that you can find or the dearly departed soul of Gary's dead Raticate. I'm talking about the strange ghost of a girl that can be found in Pokemon X and Y. You see, upon entering this building in Lumio City and sliding and riding up this elevator, you'll exit only to feel a rather chilling presence behind you, after which then floats out a ghost girl who mentions that you are not the one. Now, I've been on dates before, so I know what it's like to be rejected in such cold fashion, but I'm sorry, love, what the hell just happened here? Who are you? Where did you come from? And what do you mean I'm not the one? What's wrong with me? Well, it turns out that I'm not the only one in a fizz over this, because the Pokemon fandom went into meltdown trying to solve this mystery, only to come up short. The truly weird thing about this mystery, though, is how no one else in the town seems to even hint that this building is haunted, haunted, adding another chilling layer to this strange encounter. And speaking of which, number 4, The Strange Man, Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. Rockstar is back at it again with another head-scratcher, but this time it's a mystery that spans 2 games in the Red Dead franchise. Don't worry, Revolver, I still love you even if the world has forgotten you, and this centers around the strange man who pops up across John and Arthur's quests to offer some truly chilling counseling. Speaking of the great unknown, morality, and of course life, and in particular your death, it seems like the strange man is privy to information far beyond our understanding. And when coupled with a seeming invulnerability, it seems that the strange man is just that, something totally detached from reality. It's even more chilling if you start to see the strange man as death itself, especially when you take note of where John Marston meets him, as it's right here at this spot where John's grave would end up. Yet what's the strange man's motivation, his origins, and indeed his future in the series? Well, only Rockstar knows, and Rockstar ain't telling. Number 3, Whispering Your Name, Black and White 1 and 2. Okay, so I won't lie to you, this one is a bit of a personal entry because it's one that's just haunted me since childhood. Now, back in the day, I loved the Black and White games and the godlike power fantasy that they offered players. But one thing that I absolutely hated was when the goddamn game started whispering my name. Well, technically it wasn't me, it was my cousin, because what game records Julian? Originally I was meant to be called Cosmo, by the way. That's no joke, you can thank your lucky stars, pun intended, that I wasn't. Anyway, back on track, why should a game be recording anyone's name full stop? Well, the devs over at Black and White thought it'd be funny to have your name be whispered occasionally while you were playing the game. Now, while you could shrug this off as an Easter egg or a silly joke, the fact remains that it's a really odd inclusion. Like, what board meeting was it where this was the decision to go with? And to go to such length as to record hundreds of names means that it wasn't some flash-in-the-pan idea. This was intended to unsettle you, and for the life of me, I can't figure out why. Number 2, The Printer, Inside. Upon your first playthrough of indie darling Inside, you'll likely focus most of your energy on simply making it through in one piece, and the only questions that will linger with you after will probably be concerning the huddle, like, how does it smell? Actually, I don't want to know that. Therefore, it's pretty likely that you'll have ignored a simple printer that you can find in the game that appears to be spewing out endless reams of paper. However, because this game begs to be explored on multiple playthroughs, some players noted that the printed pages contained symbols and started tracking the patterns. It turns out that this was Morse code, and after hours and hours of processing and decoding, a message was finally found. Or should that be messages? Because the final deciphered code and means to do so were different depending on the platform you were playing the game on. Still, the codes that we do know are life detected, new planet discovered, and multiple probes dispatched, which possibly hints at the dev's next game, or that maybe there's something far greater going on than we yet know. And number 1, The Last Puzzle in Fez. And so we close on a mystery that has technically been solved, but also at the same time will never ever be explained. I'm speaking, of course, about the final secret puzzle from the all-time great Fez. For the longest time, creator Phil Fish hinted that not every puzzle had been solved, and so dedicated players took to tearing the game apart in search for answers. Many moons went past until players reported to have solved the final black monolith puzzle, upon using a first-person mode, a series of button combinations, and doing all of this in New Game Plus at a very specific location. And while the forums lit up with praise at the solution, there was just one thing that stuck in many people's craw. Why was this the solution? Every other puzzle had a clear rhyme and reason, but this seemed like utter happenstance, and the original discovery seemed to have brute forced the answer over deducing the real solution. This, as you might imagine, was utterly frustrating to the fanbase, and it wasn't like they could just turn to Phil for some answers, as he'd already canned Fez 2 and game development in general at this point in time. So we were just left there with a prize, but not an answer, making a lot of players feel like they had earned the most hollow reward of all, because after all, the true reward of all of this is knowledge. And money. I'm just putting it out there. And there we go, my friends. Those were the 10 biggest unsolved video game mysteries. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. And remember to let me know which game you think you must play before you die, as you could appear in next week's video. Ooh, exciting. But before I go, I hope that you are doing well, my friend. I hope that you're treating yourself with love and respect, and I hope, above all else, that you're just having a nice day. Be kind to yourself, all right? Start your day like that, and hopefully things will continue on in such positive fashion. Big love to you, my friend. Now go out there and smash it. I believe in you. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.